fussing and a cussing. Top feeling now is killing. For peace no one is willing. Kinda make you get that feeling. Everybody's smart. Use the pill and the dope. Educated fools from uneducated schools. Pimping people is the rule. Polluted water in the food. And Nixon talking about don't worry. He said don't worry. He said don't worry. He said don't worry. But they don't know there can be no show. And if there's hell below, we're all gonna go. Everybody praying and everybody saying, but when come time to do, everybody's laying, just talking about don't worry. They say don't worry. They say don't worry. They say don't worry. Police and their backers, they're all political actors. Smoke, the pill and the dope. Educated fools from uneducated schools. Pimping people is the rule. Polluted water in the food. And everybody's saying don't worry. They say don't worry. They say don't worry. They say don't worry. But they don't know there can be no show. And if there's hell below, we're all gonna go. Lord, what we're gonna do. Everything I say is true. This ain't no way at all to be. If only all the mass could see. But they keep talking about don't worry. They say don't worry. They say don't worry. They say don't worry.
for joining us in this very special presentation of the State of the Union Address, starring my esteemed co-host and colleague, Caucasian Sasquatch.
Yeah, you fucking rule! Fucking rule! Yeah.
Did you hear my intro, or was I muted?
I did. You did the whole thing. You did very well.
Oh, thank you.
I'm very impressed.
I appreciate it. What's happening here?
They appear to be just kind of starting up.
Starting up. Okay, we'll just keep an eye on it. We will just keep an eye on it. So you know what it is. State of the Union. Actually, I don't know how often the State of the Union is. Do you know how often it is? Is it 4 times a year or something?
It could be 4 times a year. I mean, it kind of depends on what's going on. But there's at least 2 a year. It's traditional for 2 or 3. I think it can happen as many as 4 times a year, like if there's a war going on or something like that. But I don't know. I'm not terribly political myself. I sit back and watch these things kind of like, rose tinted glasses and a big heaping helping of wine and coffee,
Yeah, I'm not really an expert, but it's kind of exciting. I have a YouTube channel, of course. I want to be a world famous YouTuber and Rumbler. And I'm looking for content, and you can do A, B, C, or D. But honestly, the older I get, the more exciting politics becomes, the more exciting it becomes indeed, especially with things like Fannie Willis, City Girl,
Yeah.
and then our own president is falling apart right before our very eyes. What'd you say?
That city girl mayor, I've been milking on that teat for a couple of months now. Because I stumbled across her a while back, and she's absolutely unbelievably thuggish. It is amazing that woman was voted. I wouldn't vote that woman to take care of my personal urine container. She'd steal it, pawn it for something.
Wow. I think she's qualified for that personally, but hey, if you don't want to trust her with that, I can imagine how your personal urine container probably has some emotional connection to it, I suppose. But let's talk about Biden, right? Let's talk about Biden. What a mess.
Wait, before we get to Biden, can we talk about this Pat person in the corner over here who invited Shim? Sure. Zer.
Is this from the White House?
This is the White House feed. This is straight from, quite literally, if anybody wants the link, it's from the White House itself, right?
I think you're not being fair, honestly. I think you're being a little rough on her. I think you're being hard on her. Hard on her.
Half a smile, maybe? Is that bad?
Maybe she can't hear. I guess she can hear if she's gonna. Is she gonna do the hand translate? I guess she has to hear.
I suppose. Either that or it's going to be gang signs. I never was sure.
I think the problem is that we have been corrupt in our society by looking at Instagram thoughts with 50 pounds of makeup, BBLs, silicone titties. And when we see just like a normal, average, plain-looking girl, I mean, she's not even fat. Let's give her some credit.
I respect your opinion, but I believe we are being taken over by AI, and this is the androgynous specimen they want us all to become.
Come on. I think she's just a plain girl. Maybe she could be like a hot librarian, right?
I don't care. I'm not.
Pulled her hair forward, maybe. Diamond in the rough.
They'll introduce them directly, and we'll find out. Their name is going to be something like Flair Flower, or
She looks like a Mormon escapee, right? Maybe a Mormon escapee. Wouldn't it be great if she's one of those fake hand signalers? Remember them?
Man. Oh, yes, sir. Those are the days, bro. Those are the days where you just openly laugh at the news and no one would judge you because you know a modicum of sign language.
Oh, okay. Let's address what's going on. Jay is not feeling up to it. He says he's fine. I got a text. He may be joining us later. but he's just not feeling up to the stream tonight. Sometimes it takes energy to stream. Sometimes you really have to be up to it. People that are good at it make it look easy, but sometimes it's not as easy as it looks, at least mentally and physically. You know, Jay is a hardworking man, but he's all right. I am in contact with him. But today we have the wonderfully talented and illustrious Caucasian Sasquatch.
I shaved my legs for this.
And he shaved his legs for this. Let's give him a proper applause. Here we go. Boom.
Yeah! You fucking rule! Fucking rule! Yeah!
All right, is this whole president coming up?
We're still waiting. This is what's happening. I can't. This isn't like
that's
little Timmy's PlayStation. We can't
my
fast forward. Look at him. Look at him. Skin stretched tighter than a snare drum.
Oops, hold on. What am I trying? I am so out of touch. Here we go.
Are you trying to make noise?
Yeah, I think I did it. There we go. What's that?
You brought up mine. That's why you don't have control of the sound.
Oh, that's why I couldn't hear you. My TV was down too low. Oops. Sorry. I'm a noob. What can we say? Okay, so heads up. Apparently there was a rumor that there was some Palestinian motorcade blockade. I guess not. Also, guess what? Guess what else? Julian Assange's brother apparently is supposed to be here. So do we think he's going to stand up and yell "Free Julian"? I hope so. And shout out to Mia Khalifa. That must be one of yours. I didn't know you knew Mia Khalifa. That's great. It's quite a pleasure to have Mia Khalifa. Bro. That's Princess
OPD of Ogden, Utah, bro. If you don't know her, you don't know nothing.
I know who that is, and that is Mia Khalifa. I am familiar, let's say, with her work.
Go.
What is up? We have a gripper. Do you know the mechanic Sasquatch? The Get a Grip Radio.
I think I've met him twice. I think once on Flow State and once on some other channel. Or maybe I came on here late one night and ran across him.
He's making the rounds. Definitely check it out. Let me see if I can find some links. Let me drop some links for people that, if you're watching this, you have to sub. Otherwise, are you even an American? Let's see here. Let me find something good. Let's find something good here.
Pick me a weeder.
Let's find something good here. And also, Mechanic he's actually Get a Grip Radio. He is what is he? Rumble only. Rumble exclusive he is. So,
well, that explains it.
Yeah, because he's too hot for TV. He talks about some interesting things that I am not well versed in. I'll just leave it at that. Definitely go and check it out. He's Wednesdays and Sunday nights only. He's got a schedule there. All right, what do we have? Okay, everybody. This is my boy Jay's Hot Topics. Make sure you sub to him. He didn't have the energy to do it today, but we'll be back. I assure you. There you go. Sub up to him. Let's get these subs up. What else do we have here? Let's get what the hell do I want? It's a lot of clapping there, right? Well, I just have some notes here, right? I have some notes. Immigration, Israel, Ukraine, crime, economy, Julian Assange's brother. How many times is he going to refer to Donald Trump as being all the trouble? And what are the odds of him just stepping down and saying, "Hey, I'm old, and now it's time for Kamala to step up"? Wouldn't that be epic? What do you think?
Well, I don't see it. Besides, I think the lease for the Disney animatronic that they're using is not up until the end of the year. So, it's paid up. There's no reason not to use the animatronic. This right here, that's not really Biden. That's a Disney animatronic that they use.
Bro, if you talk like that, you have to go to Get a Grip Radio. You have to team up with this guy. because you were speaking his language, man. He's talking about skin masks. He's talking about all kinds of stuff, man. That is right in his wheelhouse. Let me find his link, for Christ's sake. Let me find his link. And everyone that is a fan of his, they're called grippers for Get a Grip Radio. So let's figure this out. And maybe he'll even pop up. Who knows? Who knows? Where is it? There's a lot of fanfare. It's a lot of fanfare. And quite frankly, this is elder abuse as far as I'm concerned.
I agree with you 100% on that. I believe they are wasting their golden time with him. By the time he gets to the podium, he will have already lost every aspect of what he's supposed to be doing.
Oh, look, he's doing what? Selfies with Schumer? Yeah. You need to sub to, if you could, Sasquatch, please sub to Jay's Hot Topics and Get a Grip Radio there. 4 more years. The dude's not even going to live 4 more years.
What are you talking about? He's been entombed since the Civil War. He'll be fine.
Apparently, there's a MAGA hat in the crowd. I don't know. This dude's not going to make it 4 years. Come on.
Right there. There is a MAGA hat in the crowd. I saw it.
Oh, there's Ketanji Jackson Brown. That's the one who doesn't know what a woman is. She needs to team up with what is a woman guy? What's that guy's name? Matt. What was that guy who said what is a woman?
I can't remember. Like I said, I'm not terribly political myself.
She's the new.
Let's be honest.
Court justice.
At 2 a.m. in a bus station bathroom, does it matter?
Yes, it does. Yes. Matt Walsh.
Matt Walsh.
All my new subs. Hey, shout out to my new subs. Thanks for joining me. The channel is growing. Thank you for growing with me. Let's have some fun tonight. Let's look at this debacle. Let's see what happens. Look at this. They're abusing this old man. Who is his main handler? Who is in charge of catching him if he falls? That's what I want to know.
Hell, I've lost the bastard. There's so many old people in here. It's hard to see. He's like camouflage.
They all look the same, right? There's a MAGA hat. Oh, is that Marjorie? Is that MTG?
I bet it is.
I bet it is. She's got the MAGA hat inside, no less. That's like, ooh, that's even kind of disrespectful.
And knows where the camera is too.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, MTG. I mean, I wonder how you end up being like a 3-name person, right? You could be like a 1-name person or a 3-name person. It's like extra powerful. Like Madonna, Cher.
I'm a 3-name person.
Call.
No. My real name is a 3-name person.
Oh, that's powerful, dude. That's powerful, man. 1-namers and 3-namers, super powerful. Too strong, maybe. There we go. All right, if we go down, lol, it's because we got claimed or something. So just bear with us. Definitely, we're streaming on Rumble. We're streaming all over the place. Caucasian Sasquatch on YouTube and Rumble, correct?
On YouTube. I didn't do the Rumble one.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm Midlight Bro Logic on Rumble and YouTube. So please sub to me on both platforms if you could. Please sub to Caucasian Sasquatch. Let's get through this. Let's see what we got. I think Julian Assange's brother is going to stand up and yell. I don't know when you think he's going to do the beginning, the middle, the end, or not at all? What do you think?
I have my doubts.
You don't think he's going to do it? I mean, what's the point of coming? Why not? What's the Secret Service going to arrest him for disturbing the peace? Juan Pacheco in the house. Juan, you want to come up, Juan?
Good evening. Good evening. If I were smart, I'd go home now.
Is that me? Or he's echoing?
Mr. Speaker, Madam Vice President, members of Congress, my fellow Americans, In January 1941, Franklin Roosevelt came to this chamber to speak to the nation, and he said, "I address you at a moment unprecedented in the history of the Union. Hitler was on the march. War was raging in Europe. President Roosevelt's purpose was to wake up Congress and alert the American people that this was no ordinary time. Freedom and democracy were under assault in the world. Tonight, I come to this same chamber to address the nation. Now, it's we who face an unprecedented moment in the history of the Union. And yes, my purpose tonight is to wake up the Congress and alert the American people that this is no ordinary moment either. Not since President Lincoln and the Civil War have freedom and democracy been under assault at home as they are today. What makes our moment rare is that freedom and democracy are under attack both at home and overseas at the very same time. Overseas, Putin of Russia is on the march, invading Ukraine and sowing chaos throughout Europe and beyond. If anybody in this room thinks Putin will stop at Ukraine, I assure you he will not.
What a liar. What a liar. That's my first note right there.
Ukraine. Ukraine can stop Putin.
No, they can't. No, they can't.
Ukraine can stop
Not a
Putin
chance.
if we stand with Ukraine and provide the weapons that needs to defend itself.
No. Warmonger. Warmonger alert.
I guess we got to put that old military hardware somewhere.
That is all Ukraine is
Put it on the
asking.
southern border.
Not asking for American soldiers. In fact, there are no American soldiers in war in Ukraine, and I'm determined to keep it
That might hurt an immigrant.
But now, assistance to Ukraine is being blocked by those who want to walk away from our world leadership. It wasn't long ago when a Republican president named Ronald Reagan thundered, Mr.
He's gonna channel
Gorbachev,
Ronald Reagan. Get the
tear down this wall. Now, my predecessor, a former Republican president, tells Putin, quote, "Do whatever the hell you want." That's a quote. A former president actually said
Let's
that.
do a Trump count. Let's do a Trump count. That's
Calling down a
one.
Russian leader. I think it's outrageous, it's dangerous, and it's unacceptable.
Yo, I got to get some more coffee. I'll be listening, though. I'll be right back.
America is a founding member of NATO, the military alliance of democratic nations, created
We
after
are
World War
NATO.
to prevent
We give
war.
the most money. We send the most troops.
Today, we've made NATO stronger than ever. We welcomed Finland to the alliance last year. And just this morning,
Sweden was today, right?
Sweden officially joined, and their minister is here tonight. We're going to stand up. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
All right, we're about running to the end of our dose timing. You reckon they got him on a pump?
Fight. Mr. Prime Minister, welcome to NATO, the strongest military alliance the world has ever seen. I say this to Congress, we have to stand up to Putin. Send me a bipartisan national security bill. History is literally watching. History is watching. If the United States walks away, it will put Ukraine at risk. Europe is at risk. The free world will be at risk, emboldening others to do what they wish to do us harm. My message to President Putin, who I've known for a long time, is simple. We will not walk away. We will not bow down. I will not bow down. In a literal sense, history is watching. History is watching. Just like history watched 3 years ago on January 6th.
Ooh.
An insurrection
Is that
stormed
two?
this very
Knew
capital
he
and
was
place
going to bring that up.
democracy.
But does that
Many were
count as
here
blaming
on that
Trump?
darkest of days. We all saw with our own eyes the insurrectionists were not patriots. They'd come to stop the peaceful transfer of power, to overturn the will of the people. January 6th lies.
By
Wow.
walking in between the velvet ropes. Oh, yeah. What insurrectionists they were.
A great, gravest threat to U.S. democracy since the Civil War.
An
But they
unarmed
failed.
U.S. insurrection.
America stood strong and democracy prevailed. We must be
Maybe
honest.
1.5. We'll still keep it at 1.
Democracy must be defended. My predecessor and some of you here seek to bury the
so-
truth on January 6th. I will not do that. This is the moment to speak the truth and to bury the lies. Here's the simple truth. You can't love your country only when you win.
Can we start by winning, though? I mean, can we just start winning?
Considering the
We gotta
fact
get on
that
the board.
we go up at $1 trillion in interest every 100 days, I wonder when the winning will actually start.
As I've done ever since being elected to office, I ask all of you without regard to party to join together and defend democracy. Remember your oath of office of defending against all threats, foreign and domestic. Respect free and fair elections, restore trust in our institutions, and make clear political violence has absolutely no place in America, zero place.
So about that 2020 summer of love, Joe Biden.
Again, it's not hyperbole to suggest history is watching. We're watching. Your children and grandchildren will read about this day and what we do. History is watching another assault on freedom. Joining us tonight is Latoya Beasley, a social worker from Birmingham, Alabama. 14 months ago, she and her husband welcomed a baby girl thanks to the miracle of IVF. She scheduled treatments to have that second child. But the Alabama Supreme Court shut down IVF treatments across the state, unleashed by a Supreme Court decision overturning Roe v. Wade. She was told her dream would have to wait. What her family had got through should never have happened. Unless Congress acts, it could happen again. So tonight, let's stand up for families like hers. To my friends across the aisle, don't keep this waiting any longer.
Let's stand up for IVF treatment rich people. Like, I'm just not, it's really not the top of my list. You know what I'm saying?
Guarantee it nationwide.
Well, not only that, but the Alabama legislature actually corrected that today. So that makes everything that he just said moot.
Yeah, he just went from global war to IVF.
Like most Americans,
Why?
I thank Vice President Harris for being an incredible leader, defending reproductive freedom, and so much more.
Exactly, Joe Pot. The Alabama Assembly corrected that today.
I came to office determined to see Roe v. Wade overturned. He's the reason it was overturned, and he brags about it. Look at the chaos that has resulted. Joining us tonight is Kate Cox, the wife and mother from Dallas. She's become pregnant again and had a fetus with a fatal condition. Her doctor told Kate that her own life and her ability to have children in the future
There it goes.
were at risk.
Here we go,
She did-
exactly.
What did he say? What
Because
happened? I missed it.
Law banned her ability to act.
He stumbled over his first set of words.
To get what she needed.
The dose is wearing off.
What her family got through
I'm just
should
so
have
used
never
to it.
happened as well. But it's happening in too many others. There are state laws banning the freedom to choose, criminalizing doctors, forcing survivors of rape and incest to leave their states to get the treatment they need.
Kate
Many of
was
you-
not raped. Kate was
Am
not
I-
the victim of incest. Kate
And
could have
that's-
went to a doctor for a second opinion, but
My
instead
God.
she decided to flee to New
Right.
Mexico with the help of an NGO. I'm sorry, but this is BS.
Overturned Roe v. Wade, the Supreme Court majority
Don't be
wrote the
sorry,
following.
Lon.
Don't apologize.
Sorry,
With all
Lon.
due respect to justice.
Feel your feelings. That's what they all want.
Electoral power.
If I say how I really feel this stream would end, I don't want that to happen.
You're about
We'll
to
do a
see
roll
Live
along
the
with that.
truth.
Barnabas is a good friend of mine.
Oh, shit. What did I miss? God damn it, Ron. What did we miss?
Everything apparently.
There's Schwarzenegger's wife, ex-wife, right?
Clearly,
Shriver, Maria Shriver.
those bragging about overturning Roe v. Wade have no clue about the power of women. But they found out when reproductive freedom was on the ballot. We won in 2022 and 2020, and we'll win again in 2024.
But that decision didn't necessarily destroy reproductive freedom. It gave power to regulate it to the states. That's all that it did.
If you, the American people, send me a Congress that supports the right to choose, I promise you, I'll restore Roe v. Wade as the law of the land again.
You can't. The Supreme Court said that the power to do that is within the states.
Look at this quote. I'm so clever. Listen, look at this one. It's going to hit the screen.
America cannot go back. I'm here tonight to show what I believe is the way forward, because I know how far we come. 4 years ago next week, before I came to office, the country was hit by the worst pandemic and the worst economic crisis in a century. Remember the fear, record losses. Remember the spikes in crime and the murder rate, raging virus. It took more than 1 million American lives of loved ones, millions left behind.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Happy 4th anniversary of 2 weeks to spread the curve, or 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Remember that?
The most basic presidential duty that he owes to American people, the duty to care. I think that's unforgivable. I came to office determined to get us through one of the toughest periods in the nation's history. We have. It doesn't make news in 1,000 cities and towns. The American people are writing the greatest comeback story never told.
What?
So let's tell the story here. Tell it here and now. America's comeback is building the future of American possibilities, building an economy from the middle out and the bottom up, not the top down, investing in all America, in all Americans, to make sure everyone has a fair shot. We leave no one behind. The pandemic no longer controls our lives. The vaccines that saved us from COVID are now being used to beat cancer, turning setback into comeback. That's what America does. That's what America does.
Did he just say without saying it that we have vaccines for cancer now?
That's what he just said.
Folks,
didn't Cuba say they invented one years ago?
Now our economy is literally the
That's
envy
what they
of the world.
said.
15 million new jobs in just 3 years. A record. A record.
Those are jobs that were recovered that went away during the pandemic, Joe. Those aren't new.
3-year lows. Record 16 million Americans are starting small businesses, and each one is a literal act of hope. With historic job growth and small business growth for Black and Hispanics and Asian Americans, 800,000 new manufacturing jobs in America and counting. Where is it written we can't be the manufacturing capital of the world? We are, we will. More people have health insurance today. More people have health insurance today than ever before. The racial wealth gap is as small as it's been in 20 years. Wages keep going up. Inflation keeps coming down. Inflation is...
No, it's not. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Lying.
Lower.
20 years ago, 3 bags of groceries was $40. The same 3 bags are $160 now.
Now,
inflation's coming down.
exporting foreign products and exporting American jobs. We're exporting American products and creating American jobs. Right here in America, where they belong.
He's counting Grubhub.
And it takes time, but the American people are beginning to feel it.
Uber Eats.
Consumer studies show
DoorDash and Lyft.
Buy America has been the law of the land since the 1930s. Past administrations, including my predecessor, including some Democrats as well in the past, failed to buy American. Not anymore. On my watch, federal projects that you fund, like helping build American roads, bridges, and highways, will be made with American products and built by American workers.
Except for the immigrants that will be working.
Yeah, they're going to take all the jobs. That's what they're letting
Right.
me know.
Exactly.
Here are my gerbs.
And thanks to our CHIPS and Science Act, the United States is investing more in research and development than ever before. During the pandemic, a shortage of semiconductors, chips, that drove up the price of everything from cell phones to automobiles. And by the way, we invented those chips right here in America. Well, instead of having to import them, private companies are now investing billions of dollars. to
Oh,
build
he's
new-
starting to glitch, ladies and gentlemen.
creating tens of thousands of jobs. Many of those jobs paying $100,000 a year and don't require a college degree. In fact, my policies have attracted $650 billion in private sector investment in clean energy, advanced manufacturing, creating tens of thousands of jobs here in America. And thanks to our bipartisan infrastructure law, 46,000 new projects have been announced all across your communities. And by the way, I noticed some of you strongly
Ladies
voted
and
against.
gentlemen, when he mentions chip manufacturing, he doesn't mean Intel or AMD. He means Frito-Lay and Fabritas and
I'm with
Lamp.
If any of you don't want that money in your district, just let me know. Modernizing our roads and bridges, ports and airports, public transit systems. Removing poisonous lead pipes so every child can drink clean water without risk of brain damage.
I don't believe this chick over here signing.
Affordable high-speed internet for every American, no matter where you live, urban, suburban, or rural communities, in red states and blue states. Record investments in tribal communities. Because of my investment in family farms, because I invested in family farms led by my Secretary of Agriculture, who knows more about this than anybody I know, we're better able to stay in the family for those farms and their children and grandchildren won't have to
Here we go.
leave home to make a living. It's transformative.
Except when those farms are being bought up by the Chinese, right, Joe?
Illinois, home to an auto plant for nearly 60 years. Before I came to office, the plant was on its way to shutting down. Thousands of workers feared for their livelihoods. Hope was fading. Then I was elected to office and we raised the Belvedere repeatedly with auto companies knowing unions would make all the difference. The UAW worked like hell to keep the plant open and get these jobs back, and together we succeeded. Instead of auto factories shutting down, auto factories reopening, a new state-of-the-art battery factories being built to power those cars there at the same. The folks at Belvedere, I say, instead of your town being left behind, your community is moving forward again. Because instead of watching auto jobs in the future go overseas, 4,000 union jobs with higher wages are building the future in Belvedere right here in America. Here tonight is UAW President Shawn Fain, a great friend and a great labor leader. Shawn, where are you? Stand up. And Dawn Sims, a third generation worker, UAW worker at Belvedere. Shawn, I was proud to be the first president to stand on the picket line, and today, Dawn has a good job in her hometown, providing stability for her family and pride and dignity as well. Showing once again, Wall Street didn't build America. They're not bad guys. They didn't build it, though. The middle class built the country, and unions built the middle class.
Looks like Stormy Daniels. Is that Stormy Daniels?
The American people, When America gets knocked down, we get back up. We keep
We
going.
would get back up if you didn't keep knocking us down, Joe.
That's you, the American people. It's because of you America's coming back. It's because of you our future is bright. It's because of you that tonight we can proudly say the state of our union is strong and getting stronger. Tonight, I want to talk about the future of possibilities that we can build together. A future where the days of trickle-down economics are over and the wealthy and the biggest corporations no longer get all the tax breaks. And by the way, I understand corporations. I come from a state that has more corporations invested than every one of your states in the United States combined. I've represented it for 36 years. I'm not anti-corporation, but I grew up in a home where trickle-down economics didn't put much on my dad's kitchen table. That's why I determined to turn things around so middle class does well. When they do well, the poor go way up and the wealthy still do very well. We all do well. And there's more to do to make sure you're feeling the benefits of all we're doing. Americans pay more for prescription drugs than anywhere in the world. It's wrong, and I'm ending it. With a law that I proposed and signed, not one of your Republican buddies voted for it. We finally beat Big Pharma. Instead of paying $400 a month for their diabetes and it only costs $10 to make, they only get paid $35 a month now and still make a healthy profit.
After he reversed the executive order that allowed diabetic medication to cost, what, $15 under Trump?
I want to cap the cost of insulin at $35 a month for every American who needs it. Everyone. For years, people have talked about it, but finally we got it done and gave Medicare the power to negotiate lower prices on prescription drugs, just like the VA is able to do for veterans.
Oh, no. What happened? Oh,
I don't know.
It looks like Sasquatch.
He was putting in the email address, Caucasian Sasquatch, and right after he put in the email address, he dropped off. I'm guessing that he accidentally left the chat, and he might be coming back in.
We're back.
Different drugs over the next decade. They're making a lot of money, guys. And they'll still be extremely profitable. Will not only save lives, it will save taxpayers another $200 billion. Starting next year, the same law caps total prescription drug costs for seniors on Medicare at $2,000 a year, even for expensive cancer drugs that cost $10,000, $12,000, $15,000. I want to cap prescription drug costs at $2,000 a year for everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, what he's saying there, if you listen to the doublespeak, is once you reach that limit of $15,000,
I'm going to get in trouble for saying that, but
you
anyone
lose.
to get in Air Force One and fly
You
to
lose your
Toronto, Berlin, Moscow, and even Moscow, probably. And bring your prescription with you, and I promise you I'll get it for you for 40% the cost you're paying now. Same company, same drug, same place.
What the hell is he saying?
Folks, the Affordable Care Act, the old Obamacare, it's still a very big deal.
Who thinks Hammond is spot on? Average cancer treatment in excess of $100,000, and you're going to cap it at 15? That's like three or four chemo treatments.
Over 100 million of you can no longer be denied health insurance because of pre-existing condition. Well, my predecessor And many in this chamber
4.
want to take this prescription drug away by repealing Affordable Care Act. I'm not going to let that happen. We
This is a
stopped
joke.
you 50 times before, and we'll stop you again. In fact, I'm not only protecting it, I'm expanding it. They enacted tax credits of $800 per person per year, reduce healthcare costs for millions of working families. That tax credit expires next year. I want to make that savings permanent. To state the obvious, women are more than half our population, but research on women's health has always been underfunded. That's why we're launching the first ever White House initiative on women's health research, led by Jill, doing an incredible job as First Lady.
Let's throw men away, right? Even though we're dying at higher rates, we don't live as long. Let's treat the women's more. Let's give them more resources, even though men are failing and flailing in the society. Good job,
Pass my
Biden.
plan
Good
for
to know,
$12 billion
exactly.
to transfer women's health research and benefit millions of lives all across America. I know the cost of housing is so important to you. If inflation keeps coming down, mortgage rates will come down as well, and the Fed acknowledges that.
You funny man.
But I'm not waiting. I want to provide an annual tax credit that will give Americans $400 a month for the next 2 years as mortgage rates come down, to put toward their mortgages when they buy their first home or trade up for a little more space. Just for 2 years.
What did he say?
Free money.
What? 2 years of what? What is?
$1,200. You get
And my
$1,200 a year tax credit if you
It's
change
also
houses.
eliminating title insurance on
He wants to
federally backed
expand that from
mortgages.
1,200 to what?
When you
$600
refinance your
over
home,
a 2-year period of
you
time.
can save $1,000 or more as a consequence. For millions of renters, we're cracking down on big landlords who use antitrust law, who break antitrust laws by price fixing and driving up rents.
What a
Cut red
liar.
tape.
Landlords are
Biden
not
does
the
know
enemy,
about the
okay?
law
You keep
supply and
raising
demand,
your
I think.
taxes and all this
Record
shit. No,
1.7
landlords are
million
not
new
the enemy.
housing units nationwide.
You have a whole bunch of people here,
Now
plus a whole
pass.
bunch of new people here, jockeying
Now
for the
pass
same
and
rental space.
build,
Price goes up.
renovate 2 million
Economics
affordable
101.
homes and bring those rents down. To remain the strongest economy in the world, we need to have the best education system in the world. And I suspect all of you, want to give every child, a good start by providing access to preschool for 3 and 4 years old. You know, I think I pointed out last year, that children coming from broken homes where there's no books, and not read to, not spoken to very often, start school, kindergarten, or first grade, having heard 1 million fewer words spoken. Well, studies show that children who go to preschool are nearly 50% more likely to finish high school, go on to earn a 2- and 4-year degree, no matter what their background is. I met a year and a half ago with the leaders of the Business Roundtable. They were mad that they were angry. I think, well, they were discussing why I wanted to spend money on education. I pointed out to them as vice president, I met with over 182 of those folks. Don't hold me to the exact number. And I asked them what they need most, the CEOs. And you've had the same experience on both sides of the aisle. They say a better educated workforce, right? So I looked at them and I say, I come from Delaware. DuPont used to be the 8th largest corporation in the world. And every new enterprise they bought, they educated the workforce to that enterprise. But none of you do that anymore. Why are you angry with me providing you the opportunity for the best educated workforce in the world? And they all looked at me and said, I think you're right. I want to expand high-quality tutoring.
Things that never happened for 1,000
Every child
hours.
learns to read by third grade.
Exactly.
Does that count as
Also
creepy whispering?
connecting local businesses and high schools so students get
You mentioned Trump
hands-on
again, I missed it.
experience and a path to good paying job, whether or not they go to college. And I want to make sure the college is more affordable. Let's continue increasing the Pell Grants to working and middle-class families and increase record investments in HBCUs and minority-serving institutions, including Hispanic institutions. When I was told I couldn't universally just change the way in which we dealt with student loans, I fixed 2 student loan programs that already existed to reduce the burden of student debt for nearly 4 million Americans, including nurses, firefighters, and others in public service. Like Keenan Jones, a public educator from Minnesota, who's here with us tonight. Keenan, where are you? Keenan, thank you. He's educated hundreds of students so they can go to college. Now he's able to help, after debt forgiveness, get his own daughter to college. And folks, look, such relief is good for the economy because folks are now able to buy a home, start a business, start a family. While we're at it, I want to give public school teachers a raise. And by the way, the first couple of years we cut.
Hey, Barnabas, I'm going to have to step out real quick. I'll be right
Now,
back in
let me
about 10
speak to
minutes.
the question of fundamental fairness for all Americans. I've been delivering real results in fiscally responsible ways. We've already cut the federal deficit. We've already cut the federal deficit over $1 trillion.
Where?
I signed the bipartisan deal to cut another $1 trillion in the next decade. It's my goal to cut the federal deficit another $3 trillion by making big corporations and very wealthy finally beginning to pay their fair share. Look, I'm a capitalist. If you want to make or can make $1 million or millions of bucks, that's great. Just pay your fair share in taxes. A fair tax code is how we invest things to make this country great. Healthcare, education, defense, and so much more. But here's the deal. The last administration enacted a $2 trillion tax cut, overwhelmingly benefit the top 1%, the very wealthy and the biggest corporations, and exploded the federal deficit.
Yeah, that was him.
They added more to the national debt than any presidential term in American history. Check the numbers. Folks at home, does anybody really think the tax code is fair? Do you really think the wealthy and big corporations need another $2 trillion tax break? I sure don't. I'm going to keep fighting like hell to make it fair. Under my plan, nobody earning less than $400,000 a year will pay an additional penny in federal taxes. Nobody, not one penny. And they haven't yet. In fact, the child tax credit I passed during the pandemic cut taxes for millions of working families and cut child poverty in half. Restore that child tax credit. No child should go hungry in this country. The way to make the tax code fair is to make big corporations and the very wealthy begin to pay their fair share. Remember in 2020, 55 of the biggest companies in America made $40 billion and paid zero in federal income tax. Zero. Not anymore. Thanks to the law I wrote and we signed, big companies have to pay a minimum of 15%. But that's still less than working people pay in federal taxes. It's time to raise corporate minimum tax to at least 21%. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . So every big corporation finally begins to pay their fair share. I also want to end tax breaks for big pharma, big oil, private jets, massive executive pay when it's only supposed to be $1 million that can be deducted. They can pay them $20 million if they want, but deduct $1 million. End it now. You know, there are 1,000 billionaires in America. You know what the average federal tax is for those billionaires? No. They're making great sacrifices, 8.2%. That's far less than the vast majority of Americans pay. No billionaire should pay a lower federal tax rate than a teacher, a sanitation worker, or a nurse. I propose a minimum tax for billionaires of 25%, just 25%. You know what that would raise? That would raise $500 billion over the next 10 years. And imagine what that could do for America. Imagine a future with affordable
Didn't we just give away
childcare.
$83 billion?
Families can get they need to go to work to help grow the economy. Imagine a future with paid leave.
It's funny that he's
because no one
rich
should have to
shaming
choose between working and taking
rich
care
people,
of their
but
sick
since
family
he's
members.
only a millionaire, he has to go
Imagine.
after the billionaires.
Imagine a future of home
This is
care and
insane.
elder care and people living with disabilities so they can stay in their homes and family caregivers can finally get the pay they deserve. Tonight, let's all agree once again to stand up for seniors. Many of my friends
Let me down
on
from
the other
here.
side of the aisle want to put Social Security on the chopping block.
He said,
Anyone
stand
here
up for
tries to cut
seniors
Social
and let me
Security,
down
Medicare, or
from
raise
here.
the retirement age, I will stop you. The working people who built this country pay more into Social Security than millionaires and billionaires do. It's not fair. We have two ways to go. Republicans can cut Social Security and give more tax breaks to the wealthy. That's the proposal. Oh no, you guys don't want another $2 trillion tax cut? I kind of thought that's what your plan was. Well, that's good to hear. You're not going to cut another $2 trillion for the super wealthy. That's good to hear. I'll protect and strengthen Social Security and make the wealthy pay their fair share. Look, too many corporations
Are they
raise
chanting for
prices
Trump in
to
the
pad their
background?
profits, charging more and more for less and less. That's why we're cracking down on corporations that engage in price gouging and deceptive pricing, from food to healthcare to housing. In fact, the snack companies think you won't notice if they change the size of the bag and put a hell of a lot fewer, same size bag, put fewer chips in it. No, I'm not joking. It's called shrinkflation. Pass Bobby Casey's bill and stop this. I really mean it.
These are the important pressing issues in America today. Fewer chips in the chip bag.
Watch the price of chips go up even higher because it costs more to make them because of inflation.
You probably all saw that commercial on Snickers bars. You get charged the same amount, and you got about, 10% fewer Snickers in it. Look, I'm also getting rid of junk fees. Those hidden fees at the end of your bill that are there without your knowledge. My administration announced we're cutting credit card late fees from $32 to $8. Banks and credit card companies
You believe that?
are allowed to
Not
charge
even
what
a
it
little
costs
bit.
them to instigate
That's not gonna happen.
the collection.
It can never
That's
happen.
for a
Watch
hell of
the
a lot,
interest
like
rates jack up because of it.
$8.30-some. They don't like it. Credit card companies don't like it. But I'm saving American families $20 billion a year with all the junk fees I'm eliminating.
I mean, I hope someone knows what a junk fee is. Maybe you can explain it after the stream.
Folks at home, that's why the banks are so mad. It's $20 billion in profit.
Yes, the Snickers
I'm
scandal.
not stopping there.
What could possibly
My
go
administration
wrong?
proposed rules to make cable, travel, utilities, and online ticket sellers tell you the total price up front so there are no surprises. It matters. It matters. And so does this. In November, my team began serious negotiation with a bipartisan group of senators. The result was a bipartisan bill with the toughest set of border security reforms we've ever seen.
Get out of with
Oh, you don't
half of the
think so?
money going to Ukraine and Israel.
Oh, you don't like
That was
that
in the
bill, huh?
second section of the bill.
That conservatives got together and said it was a good bill? I'll be darned. That's amazing. That bipartisan bill would hire 1,500 more security agents and officers, 100 more immigration judges, help tackle the backload of 2 million cases,
And where would $500 million
4,300 more
go,
asylum
Joe?
officers, and new policies so they can resolve cases in 6 months instead of 6 years now.
Where would $500 million of that money go, Joe?
What
To
did he just say?
Israel
What do
and
you
to
guess?
Ukraine.
100 more high-tech drug detection machines to significantly increase the ability to screen and stop vehicles smuggling fentanyl into America. That's killing thousands of children. This bill would save lives and bring order to the border.
Yes,
It also
because
gives me
they're
and
smuggling fentanyl in cars in the United States.
emergency
Joe.
authority to temporarily shut down the border when the number of migrants at the border is overwhelming. The Border Patrol Union has endorsed this bill. The Federal Chamber of Commerce is, yeah. You're saying low. Look at the facts. I know you know how to read.
Don't be so sure of that.
I believe that given the opportunity for a majority in the House and Senate would endorse the bill as well, a majority right now. But unfortunately, politics has derailed this bill so far. I'm told my predecessor called members of Congress in the Senate to demand they block the bill. He feels political win. He viewed it as a political win for me and a political lose. It's not about him. It's not about me. I'd be a winner. Not really.
I'd be a winner, not really. Oh, here we go.
Lincoln Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right. But how many of the thousands of people being killed by illegals? To her parents, I say, my heart goes out to you, having lost children myself. I understand.
He just discredited her
But
death
look,
on live TV, ladies and
Change the
gentlemen.
dynamic at the border.
His campaign is
People
done.
pay people.
Congratulations.
People
That'll
pay
be the soundbite of a
$8,000 to get
lifetime.
across the border because they know if they get by and let into the country, it's 6 to 8 years before they have a hearing, and it's worth taking the chance of the $8,000. But if it's only 6
We're
months,
taking the
6
chance for
weeks,
the $8,000.
the idea is it's highly unlikely that people will pay that money and come all that way, knowing that they'll be able to be kicked out quickly. Folks, I would respectfully suggest my Republican friends owe it to the American people, get this bill done. We need to act now.
Yes.
Yeah, he said illegals. I'm shocked he even used that word. He's not supposed to say that word.
And if my
He's
predecessor is watching, instead of paying politics,
That's another Trump
members
mention.
of Congress to block the bill, join me
Did he?
telling the
Right.
Congress to pass it. We can do it together. But that's what he apparently here's what he will not do. I will not demonize immigrants saying they are poison in the blood of our country. I will
That's
not
not what Trump said.
separate families.
They're bringing drugs.
I
They're
will
bringing
not
crime. They're
ban people
rapists.
because of their faith. Unlike my predecessor on my first day in office, I introduced a comprehensive bill to fix our immigration system. Take a look at it. It has all these and more. Secure the border. Provide a pathway to citizenship for dreamers, and so much more. But unlike my predecessor,
And
I know who we are as Americans. We're the only nation in the world with a heart and soul that draws from old and new. Home to Native Americans, and ancestors have been here for thousands of years. home to people of every place, from every place on earth. They came freely. Some came in chains. Some came when famine struck, like my ancestral family in
Some
Ireland.
came in
Some to
chains.
flee persecution. To
Wow,
chase dreams
Biden. This
that are
isn't good,
possible
buddy.
anywhere, but here in America. That's America. And we all come from somewhere, but we're all Americans. Look, folks, we have a simple choice. We can fight about fixing the border, or we can fix it. I'm ready to fix it. Send me the border bill now. A transformational moment in history
Trans.
happened 59 years ago today in Selma, Alabama.
Oh shit.
Hundreds of foot soldiers for justice marched across the Edmund Pettus Bridge,
Here we go.
named after the Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan,
60 years ago, I
to
think.
claim their fundamental right to vote.
Selma, right?
They were beaten, they were bloody,
Kamala just went.
and left for dead.
John Lewis.
Our late friend and former colleague, John Lewis, was on that
There
march.
it is.
We miss him. But joining us tonight are other marchers, both in the gallery and on the floor, including Betty Mae Fikes, known as the voice of Selma. The daughter of gospel singers and preachers, she sang songs of prayer and protest on that bloody Sunday to help shake the nation's conscience. 5 months later, the Voting Rights Act passed and was signed into law. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But 59 years later, there are forces taking us back in time. Voter suppression, election subversion, unlimited dark money, extreme gerrymandering. John Lewis was a great friend to many of us here. But if you truly want to honor him
Not to you.
and all the heroes who marched with him, then it's time to do more than talk. Pass the Freedom to Vote Act, the John Lewis Voting Right Act.
I'm so confused about. After this stream, please explain this to me, Juan. I thought everyone did have freedom to vote. I'm just stupid, I guess. I don't understand.
The
Tell me later,
15th
please.
Amendment
No, later,
and
after
the Voting Rights Act gave us
Stop
the
denying
right
another
to
core
vote.
value of America, our diversity across American life. Banning books, it's wrong. Instead of erasing history, let's make history.
Banning, yeah,
I want to
banning
protect
books
fundamental rights.
gay, oral
Pass the
sex, and
Equality
classrooms.
Act.
Yes, ban them.
And my message to
But they're not
transgender
being
Americans,
banned. What is
Oh,
it?
he's a trans. He's a trans. He's a
I
trans.
have your back.
Hold on. Yes, they're back.
Pass the PRO Act for workers' rights.
What the heck is this? The State of the
Raise
Union
the
address or a
federal minimum
campaign rally?
wage. Because every worker has a right to a decent living more than $7 an hour.
What is minimum wage now?
We're also making history by
$7.25, but
confronting the climate
the
crisis,
base
not
wage, I
denying
think,
it.
in most states is like 15 or
I don't
16
think
an
any
hour.
of you think there's no longer a climate crisis. At least I hope you don't. I'm taking the most significant action ever on climate in the history of the world. I'm cutting our carbon emissions in half by 2030, creating tens of thousands of clean energy jobs like the IBW work is building and installing 500,000 electric vehicle charging stations. Conserving 30% of America's lands and waters by 2030. And taking action on environmental justice fence line communities smothered by the legacy of pollution. In pattern after the Peace Corps and AmeriCorps, I launched the Climate Corps to put 20,000 young people to work in the forefront of our clean energy future. I'll triple that number in a decade. To state the obvious, all Americans deserve the freedom to be safe. And America is safer today than when I took office.
In the
Year
words of
before-
Emilio Zapata, I would prefer
30%.
dangerous freedom
30%
than
went up.
safe
Hold on.
slavery.
Hold on.
The biggest increase in history.
Uh-oh.
It was then, through my American Rescue Plan, which every American voted against, I might add, we made the largest investment in public safety ever. Last year, the murder rate saw the sharpest decrease in history. Violent crime fell to one of its lowest levels in more than 50 years. But we have more to do. We have to help cities invest in more community police officers, more mental health workers, more community violence intervention. Give communities the tool to crack down on gun crime, retail crime, and carjacking. Keep building trust, as I've been doing by taking executive action on police reform and calling for it to be the law of the land. Directing my cabinet to review the federal classification of marijuana and expunging thousands of convictions for the mere possession, because no one should be jailed for simply using or have it on their record. Take on crimes of domestic violence. I'm ramping up the federal enforcement of the Violence Against Women Act that I proudly wrote when I was a senator, so we can finally end the scourge against women in America.
End the scourge of women in America. You heard it here first.
There are
Yeah,
other
you
kinds
heard
of
it from
violence
him.
I want to stop. With us tonight is Jasmine, whose 9-year-old sister Jackie was murdered with 21 classmates and teachers in an elementary school in Uvalde, Texas. Very soon after that happened, Jill and I went to Uvalde for a couple of days. We spent hours and hours with each of the families. We heard their message, so everyone in this room, in this chamber, could hear the same message. The constant refrain, and I was there for hours meeting with every family. They said, do something. Do something.
There he
Well,
goes
I did
whispering,
do
ladies and
something by
gentlemen.
establishing the first ever Office of Gun Violence Prevention in the White House, with the Vice President leading the charge. Thank you for doing it. Meanwhile, my predecessor told the NRA he's proud he did nothing on guns when he was president. Oh. After another shooting in Iowa recently, he said, when asked what to do about it, he said, just get over it. There's his quote, just get over it. I say, stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it.
Yeah, popped him on his hand.
I'm proud we beat the NRA when I signed the most significant gun safety law in nearly 30 years because of this Congress. We now must beat the NRA again. I'm demanding a ban on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines.
Absolutely not.
Pass universal background checks.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, we already had
None of
universal
this.
background checks.
None of this.
The Second
I
Amendment
taught the
says F
Second
is
Amendment for
universal
12
background
years.
check.
None of this violates the Second Amendment or vilifies responsible gun owners. You know, as we manage challenges at home, we're also managing crises abroad, including in the Middle East. I know the last 5 months have been gut-wrenching for so many people, for the Israeli people, for the Palestinian people,
Here we go.
and so many
Here we
here
go,
in
yeah.
America. This crisis began on October 7th with a massacre by a terrorist group called Hamas, as you all know. 1,200 innocent people, women and girls, men and boys, slaughtered after enduring sexual violence. The deadliest day for the
That was
Jewish people
disproven, Joe.
since the Holocaust. And 250 hostages taken. Here in this chamber tonight are families whose loved ones are still being held by Hamas. I pledge to all the families that we will not rest until we bring every one of your loved ones home. We also we will also work around the clock to bring home Evan and Paul, Americans being unjustly detained by the Russians and others around the world. Israel has the right to go after Hamas. Hamas ended this conflict by releasing hostages, laying down arms, could end it by releasing the hostages, laying down arms, and surrendering those responsible for October 7th.
Wait a minute. By releasing hostages that are laying down, what in the world?
A added burden because Hamas hides and operates among the civilian population like cowards under hospitals, daycare centers, and all the like. Israel also has a fundamental responsibility, though, to protect innocent civilians in Gaza.
You're absolutely
This
correct,
war-
Fortuna, the Balfour Declaration.
Has taken a greater toll on innocent civilians than all previous wars in Gaza combined. More than 30,000 Palestinians have been killed, most of whom are not Hamas. Thousands and thousands of innocents, women and children, girls and boys, also orphaned. Nearly 2 million more Palestinians under bombardment or displacement. Homes destroyed, neighborhoods in rubble, cities in ruin. Families without food, water, medicine. It's heartbreaking. I've been working nonstop to establish an immediate ceasefire that would last for 6 weeks to get all the prisoners released, all the hostages released, to get the hostages home and ease the intolerable and humanitarian crisis and build toward an enduring, something more enduring. The United States has been leading international efforts to get more humanitarian assistance to Gaza. Tonight, I'm directing the U.S. military
Here we
to
go.
lead an emergency mission to establish a temporary pier in the Mediterranean on the coast of Gaza that can receive large shipments carrying food, water, medicine,
Oh my
temporary
fucking
shelter.
God.
Oh my God.
No
No.
U.S. boots will be on the ground.
Lies.
A temporary pier will enable a massive increase in
That
the amount
pier
of
will be used to get the terrorists funneled out of that country and here.
Yes.
Oh my God. What the
Israel
hell are you
must do
thinking,
its
Joe?
part. Israel must allow more aid into Gaza and ensure
Hey, Walter
humanitarian
Davis, can
workers
you share
aren't
some of
caught in
that
the
Jim Beam with
crossfire.
moi? I just
They're
ran out of
announcing
my
they're
bottle of
gonna-
Jack Daniels, buddy.
They're going to have a crossing in northern Gaza. To the leadership of Israel, I say this: humanitarian assistance cannot be a secondary consideration or a bargaining chip. Protecting and saving innocent lives has to be a priority. As we look to the future, the only real solution to the situation is a two-state solution over time.
Oh my God.
And I say this as a lifelong supporter of Israel, my entire career, no one has a stronger record with Israel than I do. I challenge any of you here.
Yet by
The only
saying you're going to
American
build a
president of
temporary pier,
Israel in
you just
wartime.
told Israel to go F
There is
themselves.
no other path that
Good work,
guarantees
Joe.
Israel's security and democracy.
Bro,
There is no other path that
his
guarantees
daddy
Palestinians
Netanyahu
can live
convinced him that we
in
have to
peace
take
with
all of
with
the
peace
immigrants
and dignity.
so they can have all
There's
the
no
Gaza
other
land.
path that
Wow.
guarantees peace between Israel
You're absolutely
and
right,
all of its neighbors,
Sasquatch.
including Saudi Arabia, with whom I'm talking.
I talked about
Creating
that white
stability
paper
in the
on one
Middle
of the
East also
videos on my
means
channel a
containing
couple of
the
months
threat
ago.
posed by Iran. That's why I built a coalition of more than a dozen countries to defend international shipping and freedom of navigation in the Red Sea. I've ordered strikes to degrade the Houthi capability and defend U.S. forces in the region. As Commander-in-Chief, I will not hesitate to direct further measures to protect our people and our military personnel. For years, I've heard many of my Republican and Democratic friends say that China is on the rise and America is falling behind. They've got it backwards. I've been saying it for over 4 years, even when I wasn't president. America's rising. We have the best economy in the world. And since I've come to office, our GDP
Did he say that
our
when
trade
Trump was
deficit with China
president?
is down to the
That was
lowest
4
point
years
in over
ago.
a decade. And we're standing up against China's unfair economic practices. We're standing up for peace and stability across the Taiwan Straits. I've revitalized our partnership and alliance in the Pacific, India, Australia.
So explain to us why China was able to surround the Philippine Navy today, Joe.
I've made sure that the most advanced American technologies can't be used in China, not allowing to trade them there. Frankly, for all this tough talk on China, it
Taiwan
never occurred to
Strait
my
is in the-
predecessor to do any of that.
Is in the China Sea.
I want
just
competition
the
with
name
China,
alone.
not conflict. And we're in a stronger position to win the conflict of the 21st century against China than anyone else, for that matter, than any time as well. Here at home, I've signed over 400 bipartisan bills. There's more to pass my unity agenda. Strengthen penalties on fentanyl trafficking. You don't want to do that, huh? Pass bipartisan privacy legislation to protect our children online. Harness the promise of AI to protect us from peril. Ban AI voice impersonations and more.
You can't do
Keep our
that, Joe.
truly sacred obligation to train and equip those we send into harm's way and care for them and their families when they come home and when they don't.
So we didn't care for the people that came home from Iraq and Afghanistan when you were vice president. Good to know, Joe. Love these
That's
tacit
why
admissions, buddy.
the song Support and Help of Dennis, the VA, I signed the PACT Act. One of the most significant laws ever, helping millions of veterans exposed to toxins who now are battling more than 100 different cancers. Many of them don't come home, but we owe them and their families support. We owe it to ourselves to keep supporting our new health research agency called ARPA-H. And remind us that we can do big things like end cancer as we know it, and we will.
It sounds like that movie, I Am Legend.
Right. Right. We are actually in one of those early blips in the movie when
Hey,
it
close
jumps
this.
to the TV screen. This is us
Hey.
now.
Yes, you are absolutely right.
I know you don't want to hear any more, Lindsay, but I got to say a few more things. I know it may
Who's
not look
Lindsay?
like it, but I've been around a while.
Miss Lindsey Graham, I think.
When you get to be my age, certain things become clearer than ever. I know
Sure.
the American story. Again and again, I've seen the contest between competing forces in the battle for the soul of our nation. Between those who want
Again?
to pull America back to the past and those who want to move America into the future. My lifetime has taught me to embrace freedom and democracy, a future based on core values that have defined America: honesty, decency, dignity, equality, to respect everyone, to give everyone a fair shot, to give hate no safe harbor. Now, other people my age see it differently. The American story of resentment, revenge, and retribution, that's not me. I was born amid World War II when America stood for the freedom of the world.
No, you weren't. You were
I grew
born
up
a
in
year and
Scranton,
a half after
Pennsylvania,
it ended,
Claymont,
Joe.
Delaware, among working class people
Oh,
who
yeah,
built
let's
this
check
country.
that. Let me check his birthday.
I watched in horror as two of my heroes, like many of you did, Dr. King and Bobby Kennedy, were assassinated.
1942,
And
bro.
their legacies
Yes.
inspired me to pursue
Oh,
a career.
He actually didn't lie
service.
once.
I left the law firm, became
Oh, I
a
was
public
wrong.
defender because
Oh,
my
God, that's
city
the
of
first.
Wilmington was the only
Okay,
city
he
in
was a
America
baby, all
occupied
right?
by the National Guard.
He wasn't
After
cognizant of the war.
Dr. King was assassinated because of the riots. And I became a county councilman almost by accident. I got elected to the United States Senate and I had no intention of running at age 29. Then vice president, or our first black president. Now president to the first women vice president.
You there?
In my career, I've been told I was too young. By the way, they didn't let me on the Senate elevators for votes sometimes. Not a joke.
What?
I've been told I'm too old. Whether young or old, I've always known what endures. I've known our North Star. The very idea of America is that we're all created equal. deserves to be treated equally throughout our lives. We've never fully lived up to that idea, but we've never walked away from it either. And I won't walk away from it now. I'm optimistic. I really am. I'm optimistic, Nancy. My fellow Americans, the issue facing our nation isn't how old we are, it's how old are our ideas. Hate, anger, revenge, retribution are the oldest of ideas. But you can't lead America with ancient ideas. It'll only take us back. You need America, the land of possibilities. You need a vision for the future and what can and should be done.
Does he even know what retribution
Tonight
means?
you've heard mine. I see a future where defending democracy, you don't diminish it. I see a future where we restore the right to choose and protect our freedoms, not take them away. I see a
Almighty
future
nuts.
where the middle class finally has a fair shot and the wealthy have to pay their fair share in taxes.
Have you
I see
seen
a future
Elon Musk's tax bill,
We save the
Midnight
planet
Fuel
from the
Logic?
climate
Marcus?
crisis and our country from gun violence. Above all, I see a future for all Americans. I see a country for all Americans. And I will always be president for all Americans because I believe in America. I believe in you, the American people. You're the reason we've never been more optimistic about our future than I am now. So let's build the future together. Let's remember who we are. We are the United States of America. And there is nothing beyond our capacity when we act together. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right. What is he gonna do? Oh, wait a minute. He might do something crazy. Hold on, let's watch. He might
Yeah, we're gonna watch him walk out.
I think Alan West is going to be giving the Republican rebuttal, if I'm not mistaken.
So someone else is gonna speak after?
I'm not sure if it's going to be broadcast on this specific stream. This is the White House stream, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not going to be broadcast on that specific stream. But I believe Alan West. Well, when I met with him, when we had a meeting with him about an hour ago, he was saying that he had to pay attention to this address because he had to give the rebuttal.
You had a meeting with Alan West?
Yeah, Portia gave us an invite with the Frederick Douglass Republicans of Texas, and he was the speaker.
I mean, is it good content? Should we listen to it? Should we find it?
I'm already looking for it.
Huh?
I'm already looking.
Oh, you're looking?
I
Okay.
don't know if his meeting's online. I know that meeting was a Zoom meeting, but I think it would be. I think his rebuttal would be good to listen to.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Juan, can you make a? Are you on a phone or what are you on there, Juan?
Yeah, I'm on a phone.
Okay. So much to say there. I guess the biggest shock for me. Let me just start with that. He's building some type of base in Gaza.
It's
right.
What?
It's a port. It's a port, actually.
I mean, what are you, a Biden spokesman?
No.
A base, a port, a fort, a pier. It just seems like it's going to be a false flag. It's like, oh, look, Hamas attacked us. Now we have to join the war. Yes?
It's a false flag in my opinion, but for the other reason, what they're going to say is you have too many people that have no dog in the fight. They need to be refugees and sent over to America.
So we're gonna So Netanyahu,
Pipeline.
super pipeline. Netanyahu made a deal with Biden. He said, "All right, we'll stop killing all these Palestinians. Only thing is, you have to take all of them to America." And Biden's like, "Yes, Daddy. Yes, sir. I'll do whatever you say for whatever reason." I don't know what's up with that. So get ready for it. I guess they're going to Michigan. I don't know. Where are they going to go? What do you think, Juan? Should they go to Texas? I don't think it's going to work well in Texas.
No, they're
Why not in
actually
Georgia?
talking about. They're actually talking about sending them through the deep south.
Juan, your mic is horrible, dude. You're so intelligent. You're so smart. You're such a wonderful guest. If only you had a mic that didn't suck. But there you go. Hello.
I was saying that they're trying to send them through the deep south, parts of Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, is where they want to settle them.
How do you know this?
Initially, go ahead.
Red states.
What?
Red states. It opens up congressional districts in less populated areas.
Exactly.
Oh, well, Sasquatch, get ready for call to prayer 5 times a day. Newsflash, you don't need your rooster to wake you up anymore. You can just hear the.
What are you going to do, man?
I guess just accept defeat. I don't know.
At this point, we have more Southern Baptist churches and Methodist churches than there are immigrants here, but that may change soon.
Maybe you could become like a missionary and try to convert them. I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, I tell you, we're going to raise some money tonight. The way we do this is I break out my Southern Baptist preacher voice and we draw every single dollar from the very bottom of your soul. We're going to take every cent you've got in your pocket tonight, folks.
Yeah, you fucking rule! Rock and roll! Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. All you need to do is plant that small grain of a mustard seed, because the Bible doth say if you do plant this mustard seed, you will move mountains. And we need those mountains to move in our favor today, Lord.
Yeah, you fucking rule! Rock and roll! Yeah.
that was pretty good. I'm not going to follow that. If anyone's thinking we're going to have like a three-peat, no, that was great. That was great.
The lightning's going to hit me right now.
Yeah,
That's why I'm next to the black hole. It can't hit me here.
Yeah, so I'm
Out here, hold my snake.
no, I like those snake churches, man. I made a whole video about it. That I'll tell you one thing: you can make fun of people. You see a lot of Christians out here; they're fake. They say they believe in God. They say they follow the Bible. Those snake people follow the
They're
Bible.
serious.
It
They
says
are
you'll pick up
serious,
serpents, and it will not hurt me. And they do it. I'm like, that is you can say many
serious.
things about them, but you cannot say that they are not a true believer. Because
Damn right.
I ain't picking up no damn snake. I don't even want to be around that thing.
They are true believers, but they are misguided, because there's that they use that Bible verse that says, "Behold, I give you the power to tread on snakes and scorpions," basically. But they forgot the Bible verse like two books down in the New Testament that says, "Don't tempt the Lord your God."
Listen,
They still hardcore though.
they
are.
got their interpretation, and I like theirs. And honestly, the Snake Church, they got good music. It's the best white music. The white people church that has the best music is their Snake churches. They get down. They get down.
I
big time.
challenge you to make that argument against a man with a double handful of rattlesnakes.
You know what? We'll use them as the front lines when if we get invaded by if they settle some of those people here and they turn out to engage in nefarious activities. They come up with the blades ready to force us to submit to Islam. Here, have a rattlesnake, buddy. You first. It would be the ultimate reverse Uno card.
Hey, maybe they'll convert them. Hey, who knows? At least we won't have to hear that call to prayer. But is someone looking for this Alan West thing?
Give me a second.
His most Alan B. West, the official YouTube channel for edited ACRU. He looks familiar. I recognize the guy. I've got his most recent upload, but it's 3 days ago.
I think Juan is breaking in and out. Oh, yeah. So this base in Gaza, that's like the most shocking thing that I got out of it. What do you think? Any highlights for you? Anything shocking?
I'm actually more amazed at how intelligible he was.
Yeah, he for Joe Biden.
Yeah,
He did really good. I mean, for Joe Biden, shocking.
Like I said, I was relatively impressed by that. I'm not going to vote for him, but I'm relatively impressed by that.
He held it together. He had some jokes. Seemed to be kind of trying to be forceful and yelling. Yeah, he's got a cure for cancer. He's got all this stuff. I'm just going to go over some notes that I have here. Right off the bat. Oh, you're back, Juan?
I am. I just posted the link in the chat.
Oh, okay. And give us a quick resume of this Alan West guy, the uninitiated.
Basically, right now, the chairperson of the Texas Republican Party, now the chairperson of the Dallas County Republican Party. I believe he was in the military. I just don't remember what branch, and that's sad because he mentioned it 2 hours ago.
Yeah, he looks like an army dude, but okay, so he's what again? A chairperson? I mean, what is that? Elected, or how does that work? Because I don't know.
Yeah, he's elected. He's basically the leader of the Texas Republican Party, the oldest or the second oldest Republican chapter in the country, behind Wisconsin.
This is it, right? C-SPAN. You think?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right, so I'm just going to go over my notes here. Strong words on Putin. What a disgrace that is, right? It's just a meat grinder. And especially now in today's day and age, if you're bored and if you're sick and disgusting, you can just go online and watch people get blown to bits. With these drones, it's war in real time. It's sick. It's disgusting. Ukraine's not going to win.
It's evil.
It's evil. It's horrible. There's like cities and people just getting blown to bits. What's the big deal? This isn't 1960. This isn't 1970. The Cold War's over a long time ago. Since he was talking about Reagan, which is odd because I'm not an expert, right? But it's kind of shocking to hear a Democrat channel Ronald Reagan in his famous tear down to Gorbachev speech.
I was kind of surprised that he used the words illegal on several occasions.
Yeah, he said it once. He said and illegal. Well, I heard it once. I didn't hear it.
When he was talking about the immigrants that killed the nurse, I can't remember her name.
Laken Riley?
Yeah, Laken Riley.
He said something about the immigrants and then called them illegals and then called them immigrants again and then called them illegals again. Chased his little tail around for a second.
He basically said when he did that twist of words, he was basically trying to say that you can't fault an illegal alien for the death of Laken Riley. And the moment he did that, that's going to be the sound clip of the 2024 election for the Republicans if they're smart.
He said you can't fault the death of Laken Riley over an illegal alien. That's what he said.
I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what he meant.
I mean, that's freaking insane. That is freaking insane. This girl got killed. There's
pretty sure he didn't know what he meant.
Yeah, because illegal is not going to be printed. That's just what's in his brain. There's no way a speechwriter would write that. So that was shooting from the hip.
Mm-hmm.
But he's trying to pass this alleged border bill. But I think the reason it's not passing is because it has all this extra funding in it or something. Do you know anything about that, Juan?
Yeah, $500 million going to Israel and the Ukraine, respectively. That's why it didn't pass. The bill was good until that part, and that part is early in the bill. I have a copy of the bill. In fact, after this stream, I'll email it to you, Barnabas. But when I read that part, it's in section 2. That's when I was like, no dice. We're done.
What else do we have here? Free. What is this people? But I must be stupid. I don't understand. What is this freedom to vote act? Like, are we not allowed to vote? Who's not voting? I'm so confused. Do you know anything about that one or Sasquatch?
I don't. My educated guess, and I wanted to run this by you guys. Do you guys think that this has something to do with voter ID? So, for example, here in Texas, to vote, you have to show a valid ID. passport, Texas driver's license, Texas ID. If you don't have that, you have your social security card and your voter registration card. If you don't have those, you're not voting. Do you think that it has something to do with that? Possibly blocking that?
I don't know what it is, man. I'm so confused. I'm pretty sure I thought everyone could just vote. I hear this from time to time. Yes, it's lets illegals votes. Probably. I don't know what it is. Maybe someone can come up or type an answer to that.
I'm looking and I'm not seeing anything that makes any kind of sense.
The vote
right. The only thing I'm seeing is the Voter Rights Act of 19. That came out in the 60s that guaranteed 65. That I could vote without a poll tax.
Yeah. What else do we got here? Standing up for trans people. Something called the PRO Act. I wonder what that is. It's the first time I've heard of it. It's going to take your guns away. That's interesting. That's brave to say that. It's pretty shocking, honestly.
It's going to be a little bit more of a fight, considering that Louisiana yesterday and South Carolina today became the 28th and 29th constitutional carry states. So good luck with that, Biden.
What does that mean? You can just carry a gun without a license?
Yeah, Georgia's a constitutional carry, and I carry a pistol in my pocket most everywhere I go, just because you never know.
You don't need you can just carry
nothing
all you want.
Concealed carry, no nothing, not nothing.
No,
you
nothing,
just
exactly
go on about your business.
What were the two states today, Juan?
Well, South Carolina today, Louisiana yesterday.
That's interesting. That is interesting. All right, he's taking your guns away. I also found it interesting. He was so concerned about all of these hostages in Gaza. He was concerned about some Americans abroad, allegedly, and non-Americans over abroad. But remember, what's the guy's name? Coach Red Pill?
Gonzalo Lira, yes.
Never even mentioned his name. Never helped at all. He let him die.
Talking about freeing a Russian, a Marine that's in Russia right now, when he could have freed that Marine 2 years ago, but decided to bargain for Brittany Griner instead. Yeah, good one.
Well, I mean, honestly, let's be honest, though. Let's be honest, right? And this may be a bit controversial, but I'm just going to say it. Brittany Griner was an Olympian, right? She brought him the gold to America, so shout out for that. She's more of a... She just had some, weed vape pen or something?
We traded the angel of death for that bitch.
Please, listen, exactly. We are the angel of death, but the Marine, let's be honest.
Lord,
he's probably a real spy. Come on. He's not like some Marine on vacation in Russia. He's a real spy, and that's why. It's like, they probably wouldn't do it. Anyways, Mechanic, welcome to the show, my dude. I'm so glad you're here. What is up, my man? Is Biden wearing a skin mask, yes or no? Is that Biden? We can't hear you, sir. Well, I don't know what to say, but maybe if you figure out your microphone situation there, Mechanic, I'd love to hear what you have to say. And Sasquatch may have a few things in common with you too, actually, in regards to skin masks or animatrons or something of that nature.
I'm telling you, that is the missing animatronic from the Disney President's layout.
Not really sure what you're talking about, but I bet you if Mechanic can stop being such a boomer and cam up, he probably knows everything about it. Yeah, so they let an American die in Ukraine, Gonzalo Lira. They never mentioned his name. They let him die in Ukraine, where we're sending all of our money, all of our weapons. We're allegedly fighting for democracy by proxy.
Are we a democracy? When did we become a
constitutional republic?
Right. So why are we fighting for democracy again?
Because it's profitable, I guess, if you export.
Oh, right. Okay, my bad. I'm sorry. I got off. I was just thinking.
On words. The thing is when we think of democracy, we think of, the rule by the people, the direct rule or what have you. But when you look at the etymology of a word, you have demos, which basically means rule, and then ocracy, of the people, but of meaning over. So they're basically saying, when they say something like it's a threat to our democracy, what they're saying, believe it or not, is it's a threat to our rule over you. They want us to be basically serfs or subjects or what have you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why the founding fathers wrote the Constitution in a way that makes it very difficult for them to do that very thing.
Well, and that was a bit above my pay grade, but thank you. That was very I don't know, Latin, lawyer, something. It sounded smart, but I don't know. Are you just
Thank you, I think.
because you know that I don't really understand? Who knows? Maybe. All right, more notes. Banning books, right? Did you remember that? He talked about banning. The only books I heard that we're banning are sexual books in schools, right? Is there any other book being banned?
And they're not being banned. They're being restricted. You can't read them if you're a kid. And I see nothing wrong with that. By that logic, if you don't want to ban books, Playboy and Hustlers should be in the elementary school library. Absolutely not. As a father, I would be doing a 99-year prison sentence. My law degree be damned.
I am
You're
of
not
the
going to
opinion,
corrupt my kid's mind like that.
I'm of the opinion that if you cannot read that book out loud to a school board meeting, you should not have it in the school. Period.
That's a good clip. I don't have it right on the top of my little clickety clacks here, but yes, famously, someone read a book. What was it? Someone read a book that they read in class, or what happened there?
Yeah, it was a board, like a board meeting where the public can come up and speak, and they come up and read one of the books that was available in the elementary library. I can't remember. It was some kind of a genderqueer book. I'm not sure which one. I can't remember.
What do we got here? All right, genderqueer indeed. Yeah, I don't know. We're not banning books. We just don't want kids to read. We don't want kids to read Playboy for the articles, right? Like,
well, I kind of went at loggerheads with Ajod over this one because she was like, "Absolutely not! You can't ban books." And I'm like, "Wait a second, now. No one's banning books in a public library. We're talking about available in a school child's library." If the parents want to go to the public library and check these books out, I don't think they're going to have a problem doing that. I think the only problem is the teachers won't be able to give the books to the students.
The problem's deeper than that for them, and I say good. The problem for these, I won't say the word on this particular stream. I don't want you to lose the stream, but their problem is they can't procreate because of their lifestyle. So they can't teach their offspring to engage in this effed up behavior. So they go after ours. And the only way that they can go after ours is by introducing these effed up books to those, to people as young as possible.
They must recruit. They have no choice.
They have no choice. If they don't, they die out.
Yep. In one generation.
I don't think rainbows are going to die out ever. It's been well documented. Like, why are they feeling a need to have these type of books in schools? Why are there the flags ever? I mean, I kind of have a listen, and don't beat me up too hard for this, but there's some of me thinks that growing up. I'm 47, right? Back when I was young, nobody wanted to be gay. It wasn't cool. And we had a few people that we suspected were gay, but nobody came out back then. Like,
because they would get roasted.
You could call it that. And like, they didn't want to be gay. They didn't have the rainbow flag. And it was tough. It was a tough go, right? These are really gay right? And it's messed up, man. It's messed up what they had to go through. It was. And we just lost McKinney. Well, he never said anything anyways. They had a tough go at it, right? And I feel like this might be part overcorrection, because Again, we don't know what causes it. Well, what causes it? I don't know.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Do you have the sense or the feeling that the pendulum is finally going to swing in the other direction? Do you feel that the worm has turned, so to speak, that the woke has pushed too far and that it must retract?
Yeah. No,
It
the
has to.
overcorrection. It's overcorrected. It's too far. Yes, it is. It's coming back. It's coming back. Like, Drag Time Story Hour. I think that was it. People were like, wait a minute. It was like, oh, look, this is fun. And then they were doing background checks. They're like, oh, they're chomos. Maybe
I blame Glee. I blame Glee.
I mean, you're kind of gay for even knowing what that is, but
No, I mean, you have to understand. I had a daughter that was at the prime age to be tuning in to Glee.
oh.
Hey, fellas. How
Hey,
you
Sure.
doing, fellas?
Donald. How are you, sir?
Oh,
What's up, Donald?
I'm great. What's happening, fellas? What's
So-
going on tonight?
Donald, I'm glad you're here. You actually got mentioned 12 times. I got the count
Did
right.
I? Sweet.
Well, not by name, but predecessor, I believe. I was thinking of doing a drinking game, but quite frankly, if I did 12 shots in like an hour, I can't handle that. So I would have to be like, I don't know, who wants to do a drinking game? Maybe every 3 times he mentions it, that would be 4 shots in an hour. That's still too much for me, quite frankly.
We
But,
would have died of alcohol poisoning, all of us.
Yeah, 12 is too much for me, that's for sure. So, Don, you got mentioned 12 times. It looks like he's back to his old tricks. He's blaming everything on you. Looks like he's trying to start a war in the Middle East. He's going to take our guns away. He wants to put sexually explicit books back in schools. And what else does he want to do? He wants all of the Ukraine to die. What do you have to say about that, sir?
Wow. Joe, I watched a couple of minutes of his speech and then I fell asleep. And then I just, I turned around and I couldn't get enough of Millennium Falcon's ass. So I just basically was working Millennium Falcon's ass that whole speech, Barnes. I missed the whole thing. Frankly, that guy's a bore. I just turned it off. I had a lot of better things to do than watch that cocksucker. Barnabas, he just really pisses me off sometimes. Everything's my fault. This guy, he kind of like has a lot of problems even walking, it seems like, but nobody seems to notice. It's all my fault. This guy wakes up, he burns his toast. It's my fault. Nothing gets by this guy without being my fault, Barnabas. You know what? I just, I give up sometimes, Barnabas. What do you think? What do you think I should do, Barnabas?
Well, I never heard that. I never knew you called your wife the Millennium Falcon. That's neat. I guess what do you call your?
She could run the cattle run in under 12 parsecs. Did you know that?
Parsecs?
Yeah,
What
man.
do you call your member? A TIE fighter, or let me think of something clever here. The Death Star. The Death Star is her anus, maybe. I don't know what. How does that work?
It's my Viagra wagon. I call it. Because it's huge.
Things are looking bad. I think lots of people want you. I've had a few dreams about you, sir. No homo. I think if you can maintain your health and your pizzazz, you definitely got him beat. Although he did do better than we thought he would do tonight. But I am worried about you, sir. I'm actually worried about Robert F. Kennedy splitting the vote, kind of like Ross Perot did. And could you imagine if Biden gets back in the White House for 4 more years? That would be insane.
That would be a pissy, I tell you, but I wouldn't put it by it happening. Who knows though? That RFK man, he's doing so many roids, he might have a heart attack by the campaign or something like that. That's what I'm guessing here because that guy's roided up there. Looks like the freaking Hulk.
So Donald, real quick, I saw that your son Barron is now approaching 7 foot, more or less. When is his growth spurt going to stop? And because of how tall he is, would he consider running for president within the next 30 years?
Oh, well, Barron's looking to shoot up there to be a 12-footer there. He's a little, my little Nephilim cutie kid there. He's He's gonna rule the world soon. He's just gonna sprout up there. I think maybe 12 feet, maybe 15 feet. Hopefully, hopefully he won't even have to run for president. He'll just grab people and start eating them up, and then the people will just have to cave in and give up to Barron. Yeah, it'll be
That's not
Barron.
how that's going to work. I've heard this story. Someone's going to hit him with a rock.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Dave,
The
I
David
think his
and
name
Goliath
is that little asshole Dave. I can't stand that guy. I'm gonna ban Daves if I get into the office. So Daves, you gotta look out. These are the Daves I know. These are the Daves I know. They gotta go. That's what I say.
And Donald, final question. I saw that you went up by about $8 billion because of DWAC. So, what is your strategy to kill Biden and the Democrats with your success? What other power moves are you making, buddy?
Oh, I'm making armbands, and I'm gonna make another pair of sneakers. I'm making a little couple of hats there, here and there. Maybe some new 8-ball jackets I'm redesigning. You know, those 8-ball jackets, they're gonna come back. They were out in the 90s and stuff, but they're gonna come back. They're hot. They're hot, I tell you. But you know, it's just gonna be all style and pizzazz. I'm teaming up with that Papa Diddy Puff guy. You know, he's out there. He's floating with the homos and stuff. So we're gonna spread out. He's gonna split half that crowd with me. Oh yeah, look at those shoes, Barnabas. Those are the real deal. Ooh, they'll run all over you. Damn, those are hot. I'm gonna order me a pair right now, Barnabas. Oh no, why'd they cut the price on those things?
Yeah, no joke. I was just fixing to say, bro, they're like 75% off currently.
Oh, those are the ones that fell off the back of the truck.
But are they fakes? What is this? Mesh beach shoes? It doesn't.
Oh,
Are these?
It's not
are these,
them.
Are they?
bad batch.
Oh, hold on. Maybe they're fake shoes. All right, let's bring up the smoking auditor. Let me make sure you're not. Okay, cool. Smoking auditor, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you here, sir. What did you think about the Biden speech? What stuck with you the most? What would you like to say?
I mean, I just caught the last 10, 15 minutes of it when I came in Sasquatch's chat. But I came up here to ask the Donald over here what his favorite ice cream was.
My favorite ice cream? Well, that's
Yeah.
Well, let's see. I gotta go through. It'd be the Tutti Frutti. Oh yeah, Tutti Frutti. I love that. Oh yeah, I rub it all over my nipples, and then I have Millennium Falcon lick it off. She's great for doing that type of stuff. She can get every drop of it. Oh yeah, off my sweaty Don nipples.
Sweet.
Oh, those are nice.
I mean, the world was wondering what your favorite ice cream is. There they are.
Oh, those look nice. I
So
said, make me the ugliest shoes you can, and they'll buy them.
It's pretty good. You know, Trump is gaudy. He likes gold, right, in his home and stuff.
Oh.
And then there's the American flag. I just realized that was the flag. That's
I
pretty neat.
bet I could break those shoes in 3 days of wearing them to work.
Who makes them? Do we know?
I don't know.
Little Korean kids.
You know, much like these shoes, I've never seen the big red boots. Never got to see any of those in the wild. I would love to see a pair of these in the wild. That'd be pretty neat. If anyone sees these or the big red boots, please take
Well,
a
I live
picture
in-
and send them to me.
I live in a predominantly Democratic controlled area in South Texas, so I would wear them just to make people mad on purpose. Like, yeah, I got the Trump shoes and what?
Sir, you would get shot in the back of the head by a very angry Antifa member. And Z would be very upset with you.
The next batch is going to be even uglier. So just prepare. You know, they're just gonna hurt everybody's eyes when they come out. They're just they're visually unappealing. The most things you could get. I think they're gonna flash next time. I think they're gonna be neon green.
No, they're going to be bedazzled.
Oh, that's even better idea there. I'm gonna put that down there, Sasquatch. Oh, I'm gonna call them the Sasquatches.
Can you
What
add
about
You're gonna get a
Bluetooth?
percentage of that.
What about a Trump varsity jacket to match those shoes, buddy?
That'll work. Oh, the possibilities are endless there, Juan. Holy cow. I'm writing all this stuff down. I'm going to have Millennium Falcon design them in the back with her little family I got in the little back room. They're in the bathroom. the whole family. They're all like locked in there and stuff, tied up to the freaking radiator. You know, they can't leave. They're gonna be buried on my golf course, though. Gonna honor them. What is she? The 18th hole. I'm gonna call her. Yep, Millennium Falcon. Yeah, it's gonna be a giant hole though. So you're never gonna be able to miss. You could freaking throw that thing and get it in.
Sir,
That's
please
what
don't
you call
refer
a
to
bonus hole
the
right
most beautiful first lady in the history of America like that. You're being a bit disrespectful. I think
You got to see what's
slow your
all over
roll
her
a bit.
face right now, Barnabas. You
You
think
should
that's
slow-
disrespectful? Oh my God, she looks like a glazed donut.
Yeah, that's not disrespect. That's love.
Oh,
okay? And make sure you keep telling them that, right? That's what's up. But Juan, I think you should wear a mugshot T-shirt, a MAGA hat, and those shoes in front of that Charles Barkley. That would be great.
Well, believe it or not, there's another podcaster by the name that goes by the name Fallback Productions, The Real News with Lucretia Hughes and Dave, and they actually have a T-shirt printing factory. And next Monday, I'm going to order a orange is the new black T-shirt with the matching hat, and it actually is his mugshot for the same reason, just to make people mad.
I like that.
You got more courage than me, I tell you that.
I've been thinking about getting some T-shirts, and it's going to say my dog pooped today.
Sweet.
Wow, that sounds great. What else? What do you got to say about this speech, Juan?
This no comment. I would agree with what Lawyer Chick said in the Rumble chat. She said at the end of the once the speech was over that she felt violated. That's how I feel. This to me, it was more of a campaign speech than it was a State of the Union.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It was a campaign speech.
There's a few things I don't quite understand or believe in. It's interesting that he would be so concerned about less potato chips in a bag, right? Was that kind of weird or what?
That was him trying to reach the lower middle class, you know. I know about your problems over there drinking your Prime Energy drink and eating your Fritos and your cheesy poofs at your neckbeard desk while you make edgy freaking posts online. You know what I mean?
The issues that really concern the American voters. Not enough calories, and not enough crunch in a Lay's bag. Yeah, they have been getting kind of light. And thank God that we have a president in Joe Biden, that's looking out for the things that truly affect us. I hate to have a lunch break and not have enough chips. It's a travesty.
What he was saying is that the price of this was subliminal. The price of groceries are going up, and what they're doing to keep the price the same is they're trying to gouge you by giving you less product. But and I said this when he was saying that the problem is that it's an inflation issue. When the price of production goes up, the price of the product's going to go up. You have two options: raise the price, or give the people the illusion that that they're getting the same but taking a little bit off the top. What is the company going to do? So, but good to know that he's mad that, like one person in the YouTube chat said, good to know that he's concerned that we have 7 less Doritos than what we should have.
It's too much.
Doesn't it kind of depend on when you're talking about getting those Doritos? Because we have 7 less than we had 2 years ago, but we have 25 less than we had 5 years ago, and we have 39 less than we had 15 years ago.
I'm still trying to figure out how is it that 4 bags of groceries that cost me $40 a decade ago now cost me $150 now. The last thing I'm worried about is whether I have 25 less Doritos. Matter of fact, I'm not even buying Doritos. And after I read what they're putting in the cereals, I'm actually starting to cut that as well. The triglyceride phosphates? They're poisoning us.
But they're delicious.
As long as the poison tastes good going down, most people don't care.
So is lead. It's so sweet. The chips at the bottom of the window, those are the best.
I just like lead because it replaces my calcium. Makes me more metal.
It's absurd. If you want to do that, choose strontium. Trust me, it'll work better.
I'm a
What is
tungsten
that
guy
poison?
myself.
What
man.
is strontium? Is that what Putin kills people with or something?
No. Strontium is okay. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's sort of an isotope of calcium, and it's about 3 times stronger than calcium. So you can pick up strontium from beans and certain types of raw cereals with like full germ and stuff. And they used to feed gladiators this really bean, lentil, and curd heavy diet so that they would have a high strontium count. They didn't consciously know what they were doing, but gladiators have higher strontium than calcium, and it does everything that calcium does, but it doesn't erode out of your bones in the long term.
It's because your body doesn't know how to process heavy metals like it does calcium, but it thinks it's the same thing. Lead does the same thing.
Well, lead does the same thing in a negative fashion. Strontium does it and still continues to do everything that calcium does. It just does it catalytically instead of being washed out over time.
Well, my question for everybody in the chat regarding what Biden talked about regarding China. I don't know if you have that in your notes, Barnabas, but you know that China called up all of Hunter Biden's loans yesterday, right? So what's going to happen when they call up all of the loans that they gave to the rest of the Biden family?
I'm just so stupid. I really don't understand how. I don't even understand money. Like, it doesn't even exist. How China has. How do we borrow money from China? Like, that's. I hear that all the time.
No,
Barnabas,
not
it
the
doesn't
US.
make any freaking
China.
sense to me. I'm just
Yeah,
so
not the
stupid. I
US.
guess.
Not the U.S. And you're right. The U.S. When it comes to the national debt, we did borrow from China, but that's not that much. The majority of the debt for the U.S. national debt we owe ourselves. That's the treasury bonds and things like that. But where I'm getting at is there are banks in China that gave the Biden family, including Joe Biden, personal loans. Your regular signature note, your regular signature loans. They called those loans up. They didn't come to the Bidens and say, "Hey, the U.S. needs to pay back that $1.3 billion. We'll just, print $1.3 billion and give it to them." But they actually went to Joe Biden himself and said, "Hey, the National Bank of China is calling up that $40 million loan. You got to pay now."
So wait, Biden. Why does Biden have loans from China? This doesn't make any sense to me. I thought he's got like. His son gets $80,000 a month from Burisma. This doesn't make sense, man. What?
That's a rabbit hole for mechanic to go down. If I explain it, it'll confuse you in the chat, and I don't want to go that far. But basically, China wanted to do something in the United States. Joe Biden was vice president, so he was the influence. Biden needed money because he was cash strapped, and China was basically like, "Hey, we'll give you an interest-free loan on a couple of conditions." It was basically the real life version of "I can make you an offer that you can't refuse" type stuff.
It's so above my head and so confusing. I'm just such a insignificant person when I hear all this stuff. But let us listen to Tucker Carlson's response. What do you think of that?
When did Putin go in? He didn't go in during Donald Trump.
Can you
he
hear
went
that?
in during Bush, and he went in
Yes.
Obama, and he went in yours. And you talk really
Who's
tough
this guy
on
on the right?
Ukraine,
Anyone
but
know?
You were the one that fled in disgrace from Afghanistan. You told the country you wouldn't react if it was a minor invasion of Ukraine. You talk about giving them aid. He froze $100 million, and there was no Middle East war when
This is
Donald
just like
Trump
10
was
minutes
there.
old,
So
more
the
or less.
world
It's still
fell
live.
apart when he came on the scene. He knows that. I think they're going to be desperate. I think you're absolutely right about what the contours of the next election are going to be. It's going to be Donald Trump is January 6th, beat that dead horse. It's going to be abortion. It's going to be Donald Trump lawfare. And then it's going to be confidence in 70% of the electorate not voting in person on election day. And that's all they have. Every single issue, people are sick of him. And but I do have some confidence. I'm a little bit more optimistic when you look at that face and you see that reptilian grin and an anger, and he screams for emphasis. He doesn't change his intonation or use his hands or try to smile. It's just very angry and full of venom, as if all of the the veneer of self-control of an earlier Joe Biden is gone now, and it's the real Joe Biden coming out. We've seen it before, and it's kind of frightening. I've never seen an angrier speech, State of the Union, than that. Never.
I don't think there's ever been one. If last question, if you were going to guess what happens as this unfolds, because there's no better big picture assessor than you, is Biden going to make it to November? Is there any chance he wins? I mean, what would you guess if you had to in March? Now, what happens?
I think I think tonight is what we saw with the first debate with Donald Trump. I think he was late tonight. I think they just have a 2-day week. They rest him, and then for these iconic occasions, he looks angry, and they consider that normal. But campaigning, he's not going to be able to campaign. And I think that what we saw after the Robert Hur report, that crazy press conference, is going to be often. And I think they're going to intercede in the August convention and make the super delegates decisive, or open all the delegates up and see if they can get him off the ticket. Maybe tonight they don't think that, but they'll have a different view next week, the week after, and the week after. Especially, I don't think this is going to help his polls at all. I think people are tired of the anger and the screaming and the whole tempo. But I'm very worried that.
Thanks for pulling up, Sasquatch. Hit me up anytime, man. It's a pleasure and an honor.
And whether we like it or not, he's going to have to unite the party. And I think he can.
Drop your link.
But they don't have any margin of error.
I'm
the first Republican president.
I'm going to try to get your link and share it in my chat, and I'll stick around a little bit longer.
Lost 7 out of the last 8 popular presidential popular votes. So, and they don't have a good record. The Orthodox Republican establishment.
I can go do that real quick.
Reach to every community. He's going to have to campaign, and it's going to have to bring people together. And he has no margin of error because they control the balloting in these swing states.
He's a good egg.
It's going to be the most raucous, nastiest, loudest election in our lifetime, and I'm really worried about it. But I have confidence in the American people, and I think what they saw tonight was an old man raging and ranting and barking at the moon.
There's been I would say an unprecedented crackdown on civil liberties during the Biden administration. If Trump loses, does that abate or does it accelerate? Do more people go to jail if Biden wins or loses?
Well, if Biden wins, I think we're in trouble because we've seen what Merrick Garland did when they were afraid of being, whether they would be reelected or not. If he's reelected and he has 4 years, there's no bridles. And if he should win, he'd probably win the House. If Donald Trump wins, the thing about Donald Trump is everybody says he's out for revenge and everything, but you look at the FBI, the CIA, the DOJ, the IRS under his control, they weren't vindictive. They didn't go after their political enemies. No. He may talk tough, but he's not a vindictive person. And I think he has moments after the Iowa primary and when he talks about getting even by being successful, that he's got it in him to unite the country. Biden doesn't.